Welcome to Bunnings Mathematicians. We are doing one more example of multiplication in the lattice strategy. So we have Becky here, she's into estimates, and Belinda here, the carpenter, measure twice, cut once, exact answers, whereas Becky's our gardener. She's like, roughly's all right, mate. 15 magnolias or 14, it will make it work. So just uncap my whiteboard marker. The price of one of these lattices behind here is $61.70, and let's say we need 4 of them. So $61.70, and we need 4 of them to cover the back fence because our neighbour back there is really ugly. We don't want to see them. Just joking. The neighbour's fine. Actually, we'll do 6 of them just because for 4 it would just be a double strategy. So we really can't use anything times 4 because if you know your multiplicative strategies, you shouldn't need to use lattice. So let's estimate first. Yay, says Becky. So we'll do 6 groups of 60 as an estimate. So roughly we're thinking $360 at the counter for Bunnings. If they say 3,600, we go, what? Or 1,000, we go, or even 500, we probably go, But if they say 365, 380, 320, probably about right. Probably 320, not so much. We've probably got a discount power pass of some sort. All right, so now let's set up the lattice. We got 6, 1, 7, 0. You don't really need the 0, but I'm going to pretend you don't know that and put the 0 in. It won't affect it. And I've just got a 6 here, actually. I should have made that a little, I can do that now, actually. I can make that a little narrower, just the 6, because I'd only have needed that big lot if I had a 2-digit number. And then we start at this corner, and we go diagonal, 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 diagonal. That should have gone down there, but that's okay. So diagonals is the lattice strategy. I'm ignoring the decimal for now because I've got an estimate. So I'll place a decimal according to my estimate. So 6 zeros is 0, 6 sevens is 42, so 6 sevens, 6 ones is 6, and 6 sixes is 36. So I'm going to add them diagonally now. Diagonal, 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 diagonal strategy. Always diagonal. So 0, 2, because 2 and 0, 2, 0. 4 and 6 is 10, so I add 1 to this column, essentially because it's renamed. 10 of these becomes one of those, the next place value, and that becomes a 0 because there was nothing extra, it was just the 10. 7 and 3, so 6 and 1 is 7, 3. So 3, 7, 0, 2, 0, but that doesn't make sense because that would be $37,020. That would not make sense at all. We thought it was 360. But wait a second, where do we need to put the decimal to make this make sense? Where should the decimal go? Becky's going to be queen of this. Becky, where would you put the decimal? So if you said here, it was $3,702. That's too much. If you said here, $3.70, bargain. But what really would make sense is here, right? $370.20. That makes perfect sense because, thank you, Tutu, because that's really close to our estimate, $10 off, because we did round down, so it makes sense. It also is, we took 2 decimal places out, so it goes back 2 decimal places in. You can use that rule, but I prefer the rule of using your estimate. Now let's check this using a different strategy. Let's use our area model. Let's go $60, $1, and then we can even do 70 cents as an area model. And let's check our answer, because I always like using 2 strategies, especially when it's high stakes, to check it. 6 groups of 70 cents is $4.20. 6 groups of 1 is $6. And 6 groups of 60 is $360. When I add that up, interesting. That is, yes, that's what we got. I thought for a moment it didn't, but I was forgetting the 4. I was looking at the 20, but not the 4. Yes, it confirms it, because we've got 360, and 6 and 4 makes 10. So we've got essentially 360 plus 10 plus 20 cents. If you needed to do that, you can write it out, but otherwise you can just add it straight up, $370.20. Perfect. Now, if you want, you could probably have used the third method here, which is the split strategy. 6 groups of 61 even you could have done, or 6 groups of 60, 6 groups of 1, and 6 groups of 70 cents, which is pretty much what we did there. It's just a different way of setting it up. That's 360, that's 6, and that's $4.20. And then you put it together like that. So you can use a split strategy, or you can use an area model. You just got to remember that's cents though, not holes. So, or you can write it as that, and then you don't have to line it up. I'm not a big believer in lining things up because I think you should use your place value. You always just give yourself time, double check yourself like I did when I was a bit confused for a second, and then I went, no, yep, that's all right. You could also use the times 6 strategy, which can be times 5 plus an extra group. For that, it would be 61.70 was the cost. 61.70 to times that by 5 sounds tricky, but it's really just times it by 10 half it. So it'd be 617 half it. Sorry. All good. 308.50 to half it then. And then we've got to add another group. So we've got to add 61.70. And therefore it is 300, and then these two add together 20 cents and then the extra $1. So it becomes 370.20, which is what we got. So you know that's worked too. Or you could double it and then times it by 3, or times it by 3 and then double it. Let's see if that works. I'm running out of room. Too many strategies. So 61.70, let's times it by 3, which is doable in your head potentially. 180 plus 3 groups of $1.70. 2 groups of $1.70 is $3.40, and then another $1.60 is $5. So should be then $3.40 plus $1.60, $5, so $5.10. So we think it's 185.10, and that's times it by 3, but then we need to double that. So doubling that, it's not the easiest number to double, but 180 doubled is 360, and then double the $5.10 is $10.20, and that became 370.20 cents. So all of your strategies are leading you towards the same conclusion. You don't have to use 4 or 5 like I just did, but if you use 2, you've double checked yourself. If you only use 1, you're really just leaving yourself at the mercy of one little silly calculation mistake, one little error, one little digit that looked wrong, and it could have been all wrong. Could have been a reasonable answer. You know, Becky was still happy, but Belinda might come for you.